Hey everybody, and welcome to how to conduct a accurate psychic reading. I am really super excited about this training because I want to allow you guys to know the difference between being empathic, getting an intuitive hit, and actually conducting a psychic reading, because they're three totally different things. And when we learn the difference between them, it's so much easier to understand the guidance and the intuitive hits and all the things that we're feeling as sensitive souls. So this is going to be, I'm not sure what training, this is going to be July's training. And we are going to learn what an actual psychic reading is and how every single person on this planet can conduct a psychic reading. It's really super simple. So before we dive in, I want to give you guys a little bit of a backstory about me and how I came to be, making this video for you guys. Oh my God, the glare in my glasses is horrible. So hello, my name is Erica Russo. Let me just fix this a little bit. Perfect. So hello, my name is Erica Russo. I am the founder of SibylAndThera.com, and I'm also a coach and an intuitive medium. So what that means is, let me give you my little personal backstory. About 2.5 years ago, my husband suffered severely from anxiety. It was to the point where it was like crippling. It was really affecting our family life, and being a sensitive person, an empath, I was picking up what he was dealing with. And we were not really into using medicine to kind of put a Band-Aid on this. We really wanted to get to the root of the problem so it wouldn't affect us at all anymore. So something came to me, and I told him, like, hey, why don't you look into meditation? So he started meditating, and within, I would say, 8 days, I saw a dramatic improvement within him. He went from hardly being able to drive to just being the best version of himself. I was really, truly astounded by the difference between a daily meditation practice did to him. He meditated for 2 times a day for 20 minutes a day for 8 days, and I saw the most dramatic improvement within him. So seeing this, I said, well, if this can do this for him, what can it do for me? So then that's when I decided to create a daily meditation practice for myself, doing the same thing that he did, 2 times a day, 20 minutes a day. And I was just astounded. After doing meditation for so long, I can honestly tell you that it is something that will benefit every single person on this earth. But through my meditation journey, oh, the glare is so bad. Maybe if I sit like this. Yeah, it's a little better. So through my meditation journey, I realized the connection I had with spirit. The deeper I went into meditation and into those different brain waves, the more weird shit started happening. The more intuitive hits I got, the more messages from spirit I was getting. And for a while, and when I say a while, I mean like a while, I allowed fear to kind of dictate this. I allowed fear and doubt to just kind of take the reins. And it wasn't until I decided that I needed to kind of see what this was, why I was getting these hits when I was in a meditation, how these spirits were coming to me. It wasn't until I decided to go and do a mediumship workshop. And through that mediumship workshop, I realized that I was a medium, because I was getting a lot of evidence and I was gaining a lot of evidence and bringing it back. And that was when I decided that I needed to work on this, because the universe isn't going to give you a gift like that. The universe isn't going to give you that connection to spirit unless you're supposed to use it, right? So after that, I, found another teacher, and I worked with her weekly for quite a while. And I strengthened my mediumship, as well as learned how to psychically read people accurately. And it was such an amazing experience that I want to share all of this with you guys. So, where are we? Perfect. So, before we even start, we need to talk about energy, right? We need to understand what is energy. who is energy and how it plays a role in this training. So everything in this universe is made up of energy, from the blade of grass on your the land, to the tree in your yard, to you, to your mother, to your mother-in-law, to your friend, to your dog, okay? Everything consists of energy. The difference between you and the blade of grass is the frequency in which you vibrate, okay? We're not really going to get into vibration because it's not really needed, but just understand that, right? And everybody in this, everything that, has energy and is alive has an auric field. Now, I know you've probably heard of the aura, and what this is, it's basically an energetic field around your body, and people who can read your aura can pick up things like psychically. And, your aura consists of different colors and all of that stuff. But again, we're not really going to dive into that because that's a lesson for a different day. So with that, we're going to just leave that there, right? All right. So everything is energy and everything has an aura. Everything alive has an aura. Those are two things. So now we're going to talk about the difference between intuition and psychic, okay? This one gets mixed up a lot, and I want to just let you know what the two different things are, right? So everybody has intuition, and everybody has the clairs, the psychic senses, all right? So our psychic senses are basically our five senses, but that's how we receive information. So it's our clairvoyance, which is our third eye. We have claircognizance, which is clear knowing. We have, we have clairsalience, we have clairsentience, and they all do different things. So the difference between getting an intuitive hit and a psychic hit is that intuition always comes from within. Okay, so remember that. So if you're walking into a room and you just do not feel good about a person in this room, you are just not vibing with them, you don't like their energy, and your gut is telling you you gotta get away, you gotta get away, you gotta get away. That's your intuition. That's coming from within, okay? If you walk into a room and you get a download, and the more you do this, the more you're going to understand the difference and how it feels, because intuition is all about feeling, right? When we get an intuitive hit, it's coming from our higher self, and they use feeling to manipulate our bodies and our, all the information that we're getting. So keep that in mind. Intuition is feeling. Anything else, like if you see something, if you walk into a room and you see that person and you see in your mind's eye something that they did that wasn't very good, that's psychic, okay? Those are two different things that we have to remember. But the easiest way to decipher a psychic read to an intuitive read is intuition is all about feeling, okay? Intuition is coming from within you. It's coming from your higher self, your connection to the universe. Whereas psychic is you're picking up streams of energy around you and it's coming through you. All right. Now there's also a difference between being an empath and picking up energy that way and being psychic. All right. So being an empath, I'm sure that there's a lot of empaths reading or watching this. Hold on. Just means you're a very highly sensitive individual. You are a sponge for energy. You pick up other people's energy, and you might have been deemed sensitive when you were younger, or an introvert or something along those lines. So that, like I said, I'm not getting too much into empath, but that's when you are highly sensitive. Some of the signs of being empathic is you can't do large crowds. You think that you're an introvert, or you might be an introvert, but you need time alone to kind of refuel your batteries. You read people really well. You might get weird spouts of anxiety or depression or anger, and you don't know where they're coming from. That's because you are highly sensitive and you are an energetic sponge, and you need to learn how to ground and protect yourself. So that's what an empath is. And when we're talking about this, like I said, psychic is different than picking up things as an empath, right? We have to understand that when we are picking up things as an empath, like if we're, going into a room and we're feeling that someone, is upset because they might have gotten into a fight with their husband or something along those lines, you're feeling them. You're feeling their heartbreak. You're feeling, the overwhelm and the sadness, and you might even get choked up. That's being empathic. When you are picking up information psychically, that means you are picking up something in their auric field. My lights keep on going back on and off. So when you are doing a psychic read, right, when you're picking something up psychically, you are intentionally picking a stream of energy up from their auric field. Okay? So that's the difference between being empathic and being psychic. The way that you can see this is like, if you're not intentionally trying to get information from somebody and you're still getting it, that's you being a sensitive sponge. That's you being a highly sensitive person. But if you are intentionally trying to see, why is this person sad? Why am I feeling this way when I'm around this person? And you're kind of connecting to their energy, that's a psychic read. So those are the two differences, okay? So now let's get to the good stuff. Let me take a cup of coffee, sip of coffee, whatever it is. Okay, so I'm going to show you my beautiful diagram. You like that, right? So as you can see, that's the psychic, that's the client. And everybody has an auric field. You could see it, the little bubble around the stick figures. And when you are, I'm like pointing to the wrong one. So to conduct a psychic reading, the psychic sets the intention to pick up a piece of information from the client, okay? So how you do this is like this. You close your eyes, you set a quick intention, you say it in your mind's eye, I wish to connect, for the greatest good, because you always want to do everything for the greatest good. That is something that, if you are doing an intuitive reading, if you are doing an empathic reading or whatever, whenever you are about to do some sort of reading, you always want to set the intention for the greatest good of the sitter. All right. So when you're doing a psychic read, you are picking up a stream of energy from your client's auric field. All right. You are picking up a piece of information that's hanging around their auric field, and you're using that as a gateway in. All right. So a perfect example of this is, let me see, I had a reading in November of last year, and the man was pretty aloof. Like, he was not a believer. He was like, shaking his head at it. And I was like, oh boy, this is going to be fun. So as soon as I connected and as soon as I set the intention, the first word I heard was aloof. And I was like, how am I going to tell this stranger that that's the first word I hear? He's going to be really pissed. So I tried to go ahead and get another word, but I kept on getting aloof, aloof, aloof. And I just said, I just have to go with it. So I went into aloof. So I said, is it true that you can sometimes be a little bit aloof? And then he said, yes. And I said, okay, perfect. And then I blended in with that energy to see why he was aloof, why he was a skeptic, why he was, not warm-hearted. And within 4 to 5 minutes, I started feeling spirit come through, right? And that was his mother coming through, who was aloof, who was very cold to him, who was not very warm and loving, and that's why he was aloof. So it really was like a beautiful experience for not only me, but for him, because it allowed him to see the power of spirit and allowed him to see that, like, this shit is real. So This is how you do a psychic read. If you don't want to do it this way, that's totally fine. Go ahead and just, do it the way you've been doing it. But I want you to know how to do an accurate psychic read so you can use it to your advantage. Another thing that we also have to talk about is we can't read anybody that doesn't give us permission to. Now, I know that it's fun, and I know that, you want to get to know the guy you're dating, or you want to know more about somebody, but it really is no bueno to, conduct a psychic reading on someone who did not give you permission to. So please keep that in mind. We're always doing this for the greatest good of people, okay? We're using our gifts to help people, not to figure out if your boyfriend's cheating on you, okay? So, like I said, to conduct a psychic reading is what you're doing is you're closing your eyes, you're taking a couple deep breaths, and then you're setting an intention for the greatest good of the sitter. And you ask spirit to connect you to this person's field. You might see something clairvoyantly, you might hear a word, you might, feel it in your heart. This is different for everybody, how you get your psychic information. For me, I'm pretty clairvoyant. I'll see it in my mind's eye, or I'll hear it very, pretty distinctly. So whatever that piece of information is, that's how you start your reading. So if the first thing you see in your mind's eye is a broken heart, that's what you start with. You say, I see you have a broken heart. Is that true? And you give 2 to 3 pieces of information, and you allow the person to say yes, no, or maybe, okay? So that's how you conduct a psychic reading. And when you pick up this stream of energy, whatever your gateway is, this gateway is basically a string. It's like the yellow brick road to the person's whole life story. You can go all the way back to birth. You can go all the way back to childhood. You can go and find out what traumas that they have been through, what heartbreaks they have been through. It's a really beautiful way to conduct a psychic reading because it's so freaking healing. Okay, so that's it. It's really super simple. Like I said, everybody can do this. It is not just for, the people that have ancestors that are psychics and, 7th generations. Everybody is energy. Everybody has the ability to read energy. Simple as that. So let's recap. We talked about my journey. We talked about the difference between getting an intuitive hit and a psychic hit. We talked about the difference between getting information empathically and psychically. Is that even a word? So, and then we talked about how to do an accurate psychic reading. So again, when you are doing a psychic reading, I should say, you set the intention for the greatest good of the sitter. You quiet your mind and you get into that place of quiet so spirit can speak. Whatever you get, the first thing that you get is what you go with. So again, you can get your information totally different than mine. You might see it, you might hear it, you might taste it. It's crazy. It's so freaking nuts. So when you get that piece of information, you hold on to it and you just allow that stream of energy to come through you through your psychic centers. And every 2 to 3 hits, every 2 to 3 pieces of information, you have to go back to your sitter and say, do you know this to be true? Is this accurate about you? And they're going to say yes, no, or maybe. If you get a no, that usually indicates that there's some sort of subconscious block around that piece of information. There's something there that they're blocked off from. It might be something that needs to be healed. It might be something that's just too sore that they don't want to deal with. But I always say that what you do when you get a no or a maybe is you blend with that. You become it. You allow yourself to be a channel through it. And with that, when you get a no or when you see that brick wall, when you feel like there's an energetic blockage, don't run away from it. Okay, we're healers. We need to help people. We need to take the chance. And regardless if, it's going to bring stuff up, you always want to do the best you can to help the person in front of you. So when you get that no, it's important to blend with that no, whatever it may be. You become it and you see why there's a block. You see why they're broken. You see why it needs to be healed. And that is a true psychic reading. Okay? So in your workbook, what you're getting with this amazing training is you are getting 50 psychic exercises that are going to strengthen your psychic centers and your intuition. So please have fun with it. Please, they are really super simple exercises. I love these exercises. These are exercises that I do not all 50, like there's some that I do every day, but have this printed out, put it places, look at it, circle the ones you want to do, and use it to your advantage if you are wanting to expand your psychic development or your intuition or whatever. These are excellent, excellent exercises for that. Okay? So you guys, it's been a pleasure. I hope that you guys enjoyed this training. Enjoy all the exercises, use them, print them out, do them. Have fun with it too. Don't get all pissed off at yourself if you get something wrong. It's not about getting it right. It's about strengthening that muscle and allowing the universe to know that you're ready to get information. All right. So guys, I will see you next month. Have a great month. I will see you soon. Bye guys.